Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. I'm going to give you a chance to look at the insides of a Penn 79. It's an older collectible fishing reel. And this one you may have seen from a previous video. Was purchased as part of an online buy a lot of reels requiring service. So this one is interesting in that it's a direct drive reel. It doesn't have drags, but there's a problem with this reel. Normally you can back pedal and forward pedal, but when you release the spool, it's not supposed to turn the gears, and that's what's happening here. So I'm going to take this apart. I'll show you what the repair is. Sometimes it's there's a broken spring up here. Sometimes the gear is stuck on the spool. We'll open it up and we'll go see what's inside, and you'll get a look at how to repair these reels. So the first thing I do generally is take the handle off before I take the drive side plate off. It's just easier, and this one comes out with a flat-headed screwdriver, a larger one. You can do that in maintenance. You would drop a bit of oil in there. And now we'll take off the 6 side screws. The crossbar screws are longer than the reel seat screws. Just remember that when you put it back together. Also, I like to suggest that you use a parts bucket, which is what I'm doing here, to collect all of your small parts. That way when you go for reassembly, you know where they are. And it's easier for flow in terms of that. So here's one of those smaller screws. It's the side plate screw. The other one's sitting there. It'll come out shortly, and we'll get at this one. We'll see what's going on here. So like I mentioned, this is a no drag reel. This reel's probably 40 or 50 years old. It's been around a long time, and you can see that there's an assembly inside of it. And so it's not the spring. We're working on that. It's not the spring. Oh, look at this. This is interesting. Somebody's had this reel apart, and this transition piece is, wow, there's a lot of things wrong with it. This is put in upside down. There's a collar that's put in upside down, and the transition piece is behind the collar. So that's your explanation as to why this reel isn't working. So let's go ahead and go fix that. This one's unlike the other Penn models that we've taken apart, like the Long Beach and that. This has 2 internal screws that hold the gear bridge on. So we'll go ahead and take that off. They're held on by some brass screws. Again, if you put those in the parts bucket, it works easier. And I just can't wait to see what the heck we got under here, because whoever had this apart the last time didn't quite know how this operates. So yes, so this is upside down, and this is behind the plate. So interestingly enough, so let's just go pull that out. Let's take that transition piece off. Let's make sure it's clean. It's clean. We'll do a little lubrication. I use a Penn reel grease for lubrication. This doesn't require much because there's not many moving parts here, but I do put a little bit of lube on the main gear, and a little bit of lube on the shaft side. That'll just help it turn more freely. And then a little bit of lube up top on the transition piece for the free spool release. Also at this time, since we have it apart, take a look at the collar. The collar has a little bit of grease and grime on it. I'll just use a piece of 4-0 steel wool to clean that off, and we will re-lube that. And since I have the reel off at this point in time, it doesn't hurt to check to see that the main spool gear is clean and that there's no teeth out of alignment. That's the case here. So we'll go put it back together. So this is an interesting one. I've been repairing reels for over 20 years now, and I've never quite seen it where we've had something reversed and upside down and backwards, but I guess there's always a first, so be prepared to be surprised when you're taking reels apart. Okay, that goes back on the spool bearing. Let's put it on the right way now. This slips over the top and aligns with the little stick. And now we should just be able to put this bridge plate back on over both. If we press down, that'll get it seated. And then we're going to go grab the screws, those 2 brass screws. That's why we hold the parts bucket here, because we know where to look for them. And we'll work on from there. You notice I'm wearing a latex glove on my on the hand that doesn't turn my screwdriver. I just like to keep whatever oils and that are in the reels when I take them apart off my hands if possible. I do a lot of reel work, and I'm never quite sure what people are using for lubricants in there. It's not always the best. Sometimes I find axle grease in there. Sometimes I find other pieces of contaminants in there that I just would prefer not to have. Okay, we'll just check to make sure it's working. Now it's working the right way. We're going to go put that back on the reel. Put the side plate screws on, as I mentioned before. There's 2 different sizes. I'll show you those in a moment. The long side screw goes into the cross posts. The shorter screw goes into the reel seat. So I like to get the cross posts on the plate set first. Let me just grab one of the smaller ones just so you see the difference in size. The smaller screw is on the reel seat, the longer screw is on the post. If you reverse them, what's going to happen is you have a chance to snag your line on the reel seat with the piece that sticks out. And that can be problematic. You could be casting and wind up with a bird's nest, or you can just snap the line off completely if it catches that way. So use the smaller screw on the reel seat. Those are engineered to stop at the end of the reel seat piece of metal there. And it's not only aesthetically better, but it has a benefit there in terms of in terms of hold and grip. So, like what you're seeing, I do a lot of videos. I would ask you to subscribe to my channel if this is something that interests you. I do a lot of reel repair, and I do a lot of product reviews. I work on all kinds of reels, Penns and Shimano's and everything else in between, Okumas, Daiwas, old reels, new reels. I'm pulling out a screw bucket here because I just dropped one on the floor. I'll go pick that up later, but that just happens to be me there. Okay, so put that last screw in, put the handle back on, and then we'll just test it to make sure that we fix the problem here. So, like I said, be prepared for surprises. You're never quite sure what you're going to find when you open up a reel that isn't working properly. In this case, I've never seen this one before in 20 years, but that doesn't mean there isn't a first time for everything. So, there we go. One Penn 79. This is pretty much a collectible reel. You want, you can clean it up and show it off to folks as the ways that they used to fish. Here we go. We'll see. There you go. We got it spinning and the reel's not turning, so we've done our work. Our job is done here. Again, if you like it, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. I would encourage you to subscribe. Always interested in comments. If you can help me improve my videos, or if there's something you would like to see, let me know, and I'll do another video on that subject. Thank you again for watching. This is Dennis, Second Chance Tackle.